world.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Do they have a plan to? Do they have a plan to fix the pipe at some point? Because it's been going on for a while.
Yeah, so that's been 3 weeks that the pipe broke and 1 week that we don't have.
That's what I'm saying.
Just like 1 week was that we're not having hot water and heat system, and they fixed the hot water, but now we still don't have heat system. It's -3 outside. So, and then we're sort of bad using electrical heater, but we can only plug one, because if we plug two,
it's
the
a
fuse
breakdown.
The fuse break. It's just it keeps sucking.
Wonderful. Okay.
You just all have to snuggle up in one room and warm each other.
Yeah.
You have 4 people. That's critical mass of heat.
Yeah. Never felt
Also,
that
hot water bottles, they make.
Yeah, tell me about this. So yesterday we got the hot water bottle out, filled it with hot water, and realized there was a hole inside.
I have 2 if you need one. I can also borrow you a hot blanket if you want.
If you can, what do you mean by hot blanket?
They are fantastic.
The blanket that you plug in and it heats you up, or you put it underneath your bed and it heats your bed.
Yeah,
nice.
if she can bring that today,
yeah,
that would be great.
I can borrow you a granny hot blanket.
And like also like the low water heater, how you call that?
The kettle?
Okay, I can.
No, like the plastic one that you put like hot water in it.
But a hot water bottle. Yes, I can bring it too.
Yeah. Because it can be really cold in the next 3 days.
They didn't plan to fix it soon, so that means.
No,
well, we get you sorted.
So it's either they change and we completely stop having gas and we have electricity everywhere, which is really expensive because they have to change also system. Yeah. Or they do a new pipe, water like distribution into the different heater, but then they have to put up like 50 meters of pipes.
That takes time.
It's ugly and it's extremely expensive.
Shit.
Hey, the couple underneath me just moved out. If you need a flat in the meantime.
That's good.
Right, we come back to you later today.
Sorry.
Let's
move on. I needed to unload before we start.
Nothing like a Monday morning event. Just remind me to bring that blanket for you later.
Thanks.
Right, everyone else, welcome to Neuroccino on this Monday morning. Today we have Leah Tarlozzi, who is a postdoc in our team, present a paper to us that she thought was exciting, and she's going to tell us all about it and why she thought it was exciting. The general rules is that everyone is welcome to join us and present a paper, a book, or a book chapter, and we just have a discussion about it to the best of our knowledge. Now, without further ado, Leah, if you want to share your screen and tell us about your paper.
Okay, yes. Sure. Okay, so this is the paper. Can you see it?
Right.
Maybe it's small, this screen. Okay. So the paper is titled Terra makes cloud-based omics accessible. The web-based tool allows scalable, user-friendly computational across multiple datasets by Jeffrey Perkel. And basically during these Christmas holidays, like in the social, I saw this paper and I thought it was really in line on what I'm looking for in my research. So web applications, tools that can be run on the internet. And this paper is not a like original paper with methods, results. Is I don't know if I can call editorial or divulgative paper where Perkel basically describe the state of art or some revolutions that are going on in this field. And in particular, here we are talking about genetics data that seems to have this efficiency, this problem that they are really huge data sets, because now it's fast to acquire and sequencing genetic data, and then you end up with a huge data set. Here the dimension of the data is the petabytes, that I never use this dimension. It's actually 1000 tera. To give an idea, this is the how big are these data sets. And as they are saying in this article here at the beginning, data is becoming logistically a pain. So it's really difficult to handle these huge data sets. And for example, before what in research usually we can do have or share the servers to download these data sets from platforms, or also like physical disk drivers. But with the petabyte, it became to be like a problem. This is why huge research centers as the Broad Institute of MIT and Harvard are becoming to work on other ways to analyze and deal with this data. One is this, for example, this Terra Platform, where you can use some datasets that are there available across a huge consortium of genetics data, and you can run analysis online with some tools that they provide you, of course, programming tools, for example, or R, Python. There is also this anvil that I looked, I think you can see here, this anvil that seems really line what I'm working on. So you basically can deploy a Python application using this editor, this anvil editor, and then share your code. It's really a web app. As for example, I was working with the Django to develop web applications. Here it seems that in line of this, they are creating this toolbox that you can code in. You have to code your program in Python, and then you have like when you create a website, a rendering. Here there is a way of rendering a web application, and I will look into this because it seems really interesting. And this is what the National Human Genome Research Institute is going in this online web computation. And of course, for doing this, they are collaborating with like the big personality in this field, like Microsoft or Google Cloud Platform. And here they are describing, yes, for example, here there is an example of this, the Cancer Genome Atlas that is of dimension of 3.7 petabytes. And here they are describing how with this, for example, this Terra Platform, you can analyze this data set online. So this bench mode, as we are usually do like on our servers, here you can do it like online with Jupyter Notebooks or Studio or other workflow. And for example, for developing this Anvil web application platform, they analyze the data from the telomere to telomere consortium. So all these data in here, they are really focused on genetics and the omics like proteomics, transcriptomics. So all these huge quantity of data in this field. And here they say that here at the beginning that of course there is a need of a technological adaptation to this online computing, since can be difficult if you are not used. Here they say few scientists are comfortable working in the cloud, so it can be difficult to adapt to this new way of computing, and so they are talking about a training curve. But indeed, it seems convenient also from a cost point of view. Indeed, they say that if you, for analyzing genetic data, if you spend $3,000 on Terra computing, it seems like it can be like expensive, but they say that actually is cheap in comparison to downloading this data that can cost up to 10,000. And when you analyze the data, indeed in these servers, you are basically paying the RAM, the gigabytes of RAM that are using in this computation. And also one of the aspects that is interesting is the track, the share and the reproducibility of these data sets, because if they are online, for example, other people can use your pipelines, the code pipelines, and run their analysis. Indeed, I found really interesting that there is really a consortium, this GA4GH, the Global Alliance for Genomics and Health, that are really going in this direction, creating like shared policy. It is like a white paper of 24 projects across the world that are going the direction of unifying and elaborating these huge data sets. And so yes, really a big field. Also here they said that it's also like they are also going the direction of data, the policy for the privacy. These are sensible data, so you need a kind of secure platform to store and analyze these data sets. So I found this article really in line of this online computing using web application that I'm exploring with, and of course, yes, that we have to find also the place to develop our own tools in this platform, or in other way, because also in another way you can analyze web application. But it's true that in genetics the dimension of the data is really scary, and so yes, this is why I choose this article, because I think it's like a new scenario that is opening in the research field, and in particular, like, yes, in genetic data. I don't know if you have any.
Thank you, Leah. Just a quick question before I give it to the floor. For clarification, you said that downloading the data could cost about 10,000. Why? Is that the storage space that you need to calculate with, or what's the 10,000 for?
Yes, so when you are using data online, when you're using the RAM, so for downloading you have to transfer information. If this information is so big, you have to pay all the transfer. So this, if you are talking about petabytes, you have to pay like a lot. In this, just it's like you have to do a moving. You have like a huge villa, and you have to move all this huge villa. This will be like super expensive.
Such a you example, moving a villa. Great. Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Michelle?
Yeah, I have a few questions. One, it looks like it's really fit to genetics, but can it, is it usable for MRI, or is there a need for a platform that will do it for MRI?
This is a good question. So I haven't seen the MRI in the data, because also here they talk about the omics. So we can also talk about radiomics, and so all the measures that we can have from MRI. But here it seems that the platform is really built for sequencing data. But maybe since there are Python codes or R codes in these servers, I think you can adapt also for other data sets.
But would you think in that case that your web app should be transferred or redeveloped within that environment, or do you think it's better to expand your web app and have like other kind of application, and then give another option to people who want to join, I don't know, so
yes, I think yesterday about this. So it depends. It depends how much of flexibility and also about the cost that you are dealing with in these new tools. So you have to try it to understand if it's better or not. For example, when I look in this Anvil website, I thought that, wow, this seems really interesting, but as everything, you have to try to see if that can fit on your needs. So in this case, neuroimaging, and it's something that is going in the same direction. But you have to try to see if it's suitable for your needs. In my case, when I developed the Disconnectome Studio web application, I used the Django, and I basically build everything through the server, the codes. So you have a lot of space for doing what you want, because you are creating a tool based on your needs. Here, you are using some tools that you can see if they are suitable for your needs, and so you have to try it like this. Ideally, I would say yes, there are the codes, there is a platform, and then practically you have to try.
And that would be a limitation to creativity, because then you have to adapt to what's available.
This is one. This consortium, I think, these big collaborations, of course, are going more towards a standardization to make the things simple, than make the tools the fanciest as possible. Maybe this direction will go in some point, I hope. But yes, here they talk more about reproducibility, sharing. So the originality of they are talking about your pipelines, but here they are really focusing about the fact that these genetic data are so big that it's more convenient. Here also they say that, for example, they talk about the Maryland computer servicing, that is a huge computer cluster. They say that can have problems in dealing with all these genetic data, computing and also downloading data. So here they are really focusing on these genetic, these data sets. And so yes, there are all possibilities that can be open, but it's good to also confrontate with what is going there.
But maybe if we put our efforts together, all together, we can actually develop a web app that will be available for nature and will be very comprehensive.
Yes, that is the hope. Yes.
It's a good grant idea.
Evie has a question as well.
Yes, I have a question. So my question is more about, so it seems that it's very a private platform. I don't know how they manage, because at the beginning they say it was for the MIT. So I'm wondering how the institutes are promoving this kind of collaboration. Is it a collaboration between private sector and public sector, or is it only private with just the institution using these platforms, or is there really a kind of deals between them? Because that would be fine to do that, because yeah, the way it's completely private, it will make very dependent on from the private sector. So I don't know if they manage that or not.
So I really try to understand these connections, because when I read first Microsoft, I thought, okay, so is it like a private, as you asked? So and then I read about this alliance that it seems more on the our international research settings, so more like an open way. I actually don't really understand. I'm trying to understand this thing, because I think it's a collaboration. So I think it's more on the research settings, and they ask like when you buy a web server, or when you buy like an online platform, you need to use some tools. So for example, for Microsoft or Google drivers. So I think it's more the research institute using these resources for like the human genome project. So indeed, like it's accessible. It should be like open. You pay the computational time, but it seems that it's open, and also for sharing some more in the research field than a private company. Indeed, like when you go to this Anvil website, you can actually choose here for the like kind of partner server. You have different options where it was. So you can use Google, Microsoft, also other. You have like different partners. So I guess it's not just a private company investing on this. It seems more a research problem, yes, a research settings for analyzing the genomic data, using or asking help to these online big companies. But I have to understand better this, and I also asked myself about this. But it seems more in a research settings, but I have to understand.
Now, because this question is, so I'm just making the parallel, for example, in Europe and specifically in France, the institutions are still very slow to go to these cloud-based computing systems. And so there is different things going on. So first, the legal issues, and because when we try to keep up with all these private sectors, it's like running against a rabbit. It's impossible to keep up with them. And we need these computing, we are in need of these computing systems. And so I don't know if it is sponsored in this way, it will be fine. If the institutions sponsor this kind of private sectors like that, the researcher can have discount or something very affordable, because often it's not very affordable to get these, it's not yet affordable for labs to get on these kind of systems. And we are in the middle of, we want something very flexible, and what you presented seems to be very focused, because like that, it's one need, or at least it's for genetics, like that, all the needs are understandable and knowable. So I don't know. So that would be good if the institution can work on that.
Yes, I think it's in that direction, but I try to read the website of the Broden Institute, this genetic alliance, and it seems that they are leading the project. But yes, I have to understand it better. I didn't use it, so I'm not so experienced.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, for institutes to move in that direction as well, it's a matter of security, because not all data can be anonymized. So I think those are questions that need to be addressed before we just push the data somewhere.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, like that are data set of consortium. So you have to push the data when you are acquiring a multi-center project. You have to anonymize. So they are already there. They are already like a big data set. But then, yes, if you have your own data set and you want to put it there, there is this need of adaptation of this new way, that there are a lot of issues and questions that need to be addressed. So yes, there is an adaptation also in the rules of the games and everything. Yeah.
That's good. Are there any other questions? No, nothing? Fantastic. Well, in that case, thank you for presenting the paper, Leah. Very, very interesting indeed. And good luck finding out if you need to redo, migrate, or completely keep your web app separate. Good luck with that. Thanks for everyone else for joining us live here on Zoom and over on YouTube. If you have any follow-up questions, just tweet them to us or get in touch with Leah directly. And as I said, anyone is welcome to present. So if you read something exciting this week, book, paper, book chapter, whatever, just come and present next week to us. And until then, have an exciting week in science, and I see you Monday. Bye.